Hello, and welcome to the Subby Zone. Your host, me, Phil Subby. This is episode 10, the Rational Zero Theorem. Ready? Alright, so here is the Rational Zero Theorem. If f of x is equal to a sub n x, exponent n plus a bunch of stuff plus a sub 1 x plus constant a sub 0 has integer coefficients, then every rational zero of f has the following form: p over q, and then the p is the factors of the constant form, factors of this one, and then q, the denominator, would be the numerator's factors of the constant form AO, and the denominator's factors of leading coefficients, factors of this one. Okay, it's a lot of words, but once we get into it, it'll be simple as cake. Okay, is cake simple? I don't think so. All right, so Q, find, and then we got find rational zeros of f of x equals x cubed plus 2x squared minus 11x minus 12. So what is our leading coefficient? It is this imaginary 1 right there. So that's our leading coefficient. And then what is our constant? It is this, right? Negative 12. Okay, what are our factors of 1? Just 1, right? Our factors of negative 12. We have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And remember, this is a plus or minus, right? All of these. Okay? Alright, so our possible rational zeros using this, right? So factors of constant form over factors of leading coefficient. So our possible rational zeros are going to be plus or minus 1 over 1, plus or minus 2 over 1, because look, 2 over 1, plus or minus 3 over 1, plus or minus 4 over 1, plus or minus 6 over 1. Now you might be saying, wow, well, why do you even put the 1? That's just to illustrate what goes in the denominator. Secondly, you would say, well, what if it wasn't 1? What if it was 3 or 10 or something like that? Wouldn't there be a bunch of possible rational zeros? And you're correct. I chose this one because it's early in the textbook and it's less work. I don't want to do more work. But you should get to practice with some more of this stuff. Okay, now we have these possible rational zeros. I'm going to keep this up here. Okay, so our next step is synthetic division, right? So we've done this a lot, so I should be a pro at it. All right, so first we're going to take a possible rational zero. Let's try 1. Just do 1, okay? And we'll do synthetic division and see if it has a remainder. Maybe it does, maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, so this is going to be 1, 2, negative 11, and negative 12. Okay, before we start this, I'll give you a little bit of time to do this on your own. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and I did live at home for a while, but I ended up getting a lot of help, a lot of psychiatrists. I got put on some pretty heavy, pretty light antipsychotics, but I did get put on antipsychotics, and through those antipsychotics, I was able to see that what I was thinking wasn't true. You know, I cleared my thinking. It slowed down my thinking, and I slept a whole bunch. But I went a while, and I really was able to help myself understand that what I was thinking was wrong. Because if it was right, then there shouldn't be drugs that fix it, right? That doesn't make logical sense. And then, I went on it for about 10 months, and then I took myself off. Because you know what? I heard that schizophrenia has a 25% total uh, total recovery rate. And I was like, well, how are we supposed to know that? Well, let me try it out for a little bit. And so I tried it out with drugs, and I felt amazing. And and without the antipsychotics, and I tried it for a while, and everything's going well. But I know if things start going bad, I start getting those thoughts again, and they start overpowering me. That should that I'll have those, and I'll be able to get those to bring me back out of it. It's my decision, and I'm not hurting anybody, and I'm doing very well. I'm not very happy, but I don't think I should be happy with all the horrible things in the world. All right, so one, you bring down the one, and so that's your first step. Is always bring down the one. One times one is one. Add that up is three. 3 times one is three. Add that up is -8, and then -8 times 1 is -8, and that turns out to -20. That is a remainder, so that is not a 0. Let's try -1. That is our next factor we can try out. Same thing, 1, 2, -11, -12. If you're thinking this isn't going to have a remainder because I don't want to do more work, you are correct. Now I'll put a 1 down there. 1 times -1 is -1. I'm going quickly because I've already done this. Okay, so if you're thinking, well, I am not going as quickly as he is, and he's going very quickly, I would say that you are, I am over prepared. Okay, and all right, so we got -1, and then this will be 1, right? And then 1 times 1, -1, and this will be -12. And if you can believe it, -1 times -12 is +12, and then these, bam. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next part. So we know -1 is a factor. Now that we know -1 is a factor, right, we can take out these, right? We can remember what we do with synthetic division. What we do is we take out that x, and that's a -1, so that's going to be +1, right? Because it's always the opposite of that factor, right? At 0, and then it'll be, and then we take this, and this is going to be, whoops, that 1 is going to be, I'm just fucking it up. That 1 is going to be 1 less than this coefficient, right? You see it? That 1 less than that coefficient, that 3 right there, so it's going to be squared, right? God, this must be awful to watch. If you're sick, I don't blame if you hate me. But I don't blame anybody if they hate me. X squared plus x minus 12, right? And then we have that x squared, and if you think you can factor this out on your own, why don't you try factoring that out? I'll just wait here, ignoring, so what I understand is, my life is pretty great, and, I found someone who really supports me, loves me, and, she's so great, and everything's going so great, and I'm exercising, having fun, and doing well in work, subbing great. It, there's a lot of, I have a lot of suspicions about the world and around me still, but I just choose to ignore them, and to, just, I don't even, you know what? I don't ignore them. That's it. I just have fun. I just go, well, I do think I let myself think about them. I go with the flow, right? I let myself think about them, and then move on and think about other things, you know. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And there's no problems there, do I get frustrated? Do I want to run away and all that kind of thing? And of course, but there's no. Yeah, I think my brain is going. Okay, so if you factored already, we've done a lot of factoring, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're doing this in my head, okay? So we know that this is 4 and 3 because 4 and 3 are gonna add up to make 1, right? So, and then if it's -4, it's gonna be -1, and this is a +1. So we're going to do positive 4, okay? And this is going to be x minus 3, right? And so that'll work out, and then this is x squared, and then that's, this is all x plus 1, and then when we get the zeros, right, and then so this will be, and then this is 4 and negative 12, and then this is 4x and negative 3x, which makes sense. We've gone over that before, and if you don't know how to do that, go back to previous videos. And this is x plus 1, or go to a better source. Honestly, you should go to a better source. I'm not a good source for this. I don't even, if you are listening, you probably, anybody that listens to this, if you probably just turn it off way before that. This, talking to myself, I realize this now. I'll finish up. So when it's x plus, you're just taking the opposite, right? So your zeros will be negative 1, so this one, negative 4, and positive 3. And I like to do ascending order, right? So we got negative 4, negative 1, positive 3. And if you heard my last video, you would say my life was at a really low negative, right? And then I said the only possibility was to get up to a negative 1. As you can see in this problem, I got up to positive 3. And you know what? I feel a positive 3 out of 100. No, I'm just kidding. I feel a 3 probably out of 4, most of the time. But sometimes I feel like a 0. But a lot of the times I feel like a 3 out of 4. Usually when I wake up in the morning and I'm super tired and I gotta go to work, I'm like a 0 or a negative 1. Because I really don't like mornings. Sometimes I feel like at a 4, like I'll be listening to a good music, or be with my girl, and we'll be laughing and having fun, or see a good comedy, and then I'll be at like a 4 out of 4. Why is this rating system out of 4? There's 4 stars in movie ratings, so maybe that's where I'm getting it from. Why do I keep talking? Because I feel like if I keep talking, then I feel so low. Why am I my thoughts I can't express? I can't express it. I don't know. Fuck you. I fucking hate this shit. I wish I could. I don't know what I'm going to say, but this is it. I think I see somebody. I hear somebody. I hear somebody. I hear somebody. I hear somebody. Look, I just want to put this out. Just put it out. If somebody can hack into my computer, please hack into my computer. Please, I don't want to be taken. I 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 want to be taken. Please don't let them take me. Please don't let them take me. I'll act normal. I'll do my job. Please don't let them take me. Please stop. Please don't let them take me. Please don't let them take me. Please don't